So I am Jen Cooper. That was a nice little bio. Thank you very much. I am a therapist. I've been a therapist for a long time. I've worked at the Community Mental Health Center for 25 years. I know you're thinking, God, she looks so young. But I worked in the field for 29 years. I do this. This is what I do. I teach QPR. I have taught mental health first aid. I love talking about these issues, but the problem is there aren't a lot of people talking about these issues. Stigma is in the way, and that's why I'm here tonight, is to talk about stigma. It's a problem. We know it's a problem. We're going to talk about it. So my hope is that I'm going to give you a few tools so that we can all rally around this. We can all do something to start to tackle this. So I have cards because I'm also kind of nervous. Thank you. So I'm someone concerned about stigma, and I want to just define stigma simply as being blamed or labeled for something out of our control. Who likes that? Nobody likes that. It doesn't feel good. So again, I'm going to try and give you 5 tips, and I need a little audience participation because it makes me less nervous, and I think it drives our points home. So with that, the first thing we're going to do to start to tackle some stigma is we're going to know our facts. We're going to know a little bit more. We're going to be able to talk about this a little bit easier. So I need you to fill in the blank. 1 in how many people will experience a diagnosable mental health condition this year? 1 in 4. 1 in 4. Yep. So let's take a fourth of the room, and would you have your whole table stand up, and would your table stand up? This year. Okay, if you would keep standing. 1 in how many will experience a diagnosable mental health condition sometime in their lifetime? 1 in 2. 1 in 2. Would you guys stand, and would you guys stand? All right, are we talking about those people have mental health issues? Is this a group of people that we don't know? Is it somebody else? These are our friends. These are our families. These are people in our community. These are our coworkers. These are people we love. These are the people we care about. It's not those people. It's us. It's us. So I think it's always impactful when we look around and think, oh my gosh, these are the people in my cul-de-sacs. These are people in my bunco group. This is us. We can't keep talking about it like it's somebody else. So thank you, everybody. Stay standing. So know those facts and think about that. Think about how prevalent. So another kind of very concerning fact for me, and Leah, you spoke to this too. So we identify there's symptoms, there's an issue, there's something going on. How long generally does it take for somebody to then get some help? What's the time span there between symptoms and getting help? What would you guess?
5 years.
More.
10. What?
More.
Really?
11 years. 11 years on average. We're suffering for 11 years. Why aren't we? I know. Breaks my heart that we jiggle on that one. Why? Why aren't we going to get help? What's getting in our way? I think it's stigma. I think it has a lot to do with stigma. It's still there. My daughter Abby is here. And I think her generation is really starting to do something a little bit different. They are talking about mental health. They are seeking treatment, and they're talking about it more with their friends. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. But it's starting to change, but 11 years is a long time. One more fact. I want you to know this too, that 2/3 of the people that go to get help, they fully recover. Not sort of recover, they fully recover. 2/3. So let's help them get help. That's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to know facts. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to be aware of our own judgments. We're going to work to be aware of our own biases, of our own judgments, the way we draw conclusions. We're going to look inward a little bit more. What's getting out of our way? What are we doing that kind of feeds this whole stigma thing? And this is kind of a silly example, but I want to give it to you anyway. the concept is, when did a dandelion become a weed? You guys remember when we were little, or maybe you were littles, and that yellow flower was the prettiest thing you could ever see. And they were everywhere, and you could pick them, and we picked them and we gave bouquets to our moms, and we wore them in our hair. This was the prettiest flower ever. And it gets better. When it goes to seed, you blow on it and you make a wish. Is that the best? Okay, now I'm an adult, and this is a weed, and you need to get rid of it, and you need to get rid of it from the ground. You need to hire somebody. You need to get the roots out of there. This is a nuisance. Silly example, but what happened? Why is the dandelion not that pretty flower anymore? Why is it a weed? What messages do we get? This is not a good flower. So it's maybe a silly example, but it's something that I always think of, is that gap in between media, our families, our friends, movies, news. The stories are everywhere that helps to create that stigma, so we're gonna have to work pretty hard to break it down. Think about your dandelions. All right, third thing we're gonna do to tackle stigma. We're gonna talk openly about, Leah, you did it. We're gonna talk about it, we're gonna share our stories, we're gonna write books about it. We have to do that. I have to tell you, I experienced symptoms of depression. I've been through a really painful divorce. I'm a therapist. I have more credibility with my friends about depression and divorce when they're struggling than by being in therapy. We've got to talk about it. We've got to talk about it with our friends, with our family, with our kids, with our kids' friends. We just have to be okay with sharing. We do this with physical illnesses. We talk about this in mental health first aid too. Somebody gets sick. We rally around them. We want to know about the diagnosis. We talk about this. You have cancer. Oh my God. What can we do for you? Let's raise money for you. What can we do? We show up with casserole. We show up. We want to help. It's something we think we can do. When you get diagnosed with anxiety, depression, is there a casserole? There's no casserole. We all want the casserole. Something to think about. We're not talking about it. There's still a big separation between physical illness and mental illness. So we're gonna start to talk about those things. We're gonna talk about them a lot. We're gonna write books about them. The fourth thing we're gonna do is we're gonna stop labeling people by their illness. I love this quote. It's, labels are for jars, not for people. And I just think that's so powerful. So, I'm not sure if everybody knows what person-first language is. It's something that we try to work on a lot when we try to beat stigma. And we're talking about the person first. We're not talking about what the person has, we're talking about what the person is. So I want to do a little practice here with learning what person-first language is. We're talking about what a person has. So if we like this word a lot, an addict. God, we use it all the time. Why do we still do that? So if we say person first is a person
Who has an addiction.
who experiences addiction, right, is struggling with a substance use disorder. It's different. We're just talking about what they're struggling with. We're not saying anymore, she's an addict, he's bipolar, she's schizo, he's nuts, he's crazy. We gotta stop. That ain't working. We can't do that anymore. So person first language talks about the person. And it's not just mental health. What about homelessness? A homeless person. How can we say that in person first language?
Person experiencing homelessness.
Person experiencing homelessness. Very different, right? So let's think about that as we talk about people. And the last thing we're gonna do is please don't leave it up to the professionals. I get them 11 years later and we're gonna help them. But right now, you're the resource. What's gonna happen is your friends and family are gonna go to you way before they're gonna come to me. They're gonna reach out to you. They're gonna let you know that they're struggling. So, hope this is okay, but I'm going to give out the National Suicide Alliance hotline. And I do that, we do that in Mental Health First Aid, we do that in QPR, because I want you all to leave here with one resource you didn't have before. So, does everybody in this room carry a phone? I know, it'd be almost weird if you didn't. I'm gonna give you this because you might be in a situation where somebody says, I don't know what to do, and you get to say, I don't either, but I know where to start. I know somebody we can call. If you have one resource in your pocket, we have done something here. So, this number is 1-800-273-8255. And the other thing we're gonna do with our friends or family, yes, 1-800-273-8255.
Does 988 work again?
Yes, and it's still, they're still working on it. There's some glitches, but yes, it is in effect. Sorry, Rachel, I keep putting you on.
That's great.
So the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna instill hope. We can do this. We can offer hope. You don't need to be a professional to do that. You don't need to get them in my doors to do that. We're gonna instill hope. We're gonna tell people, I got you. It's okay to say, I have no idea what to do. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna sit by you. I'm gonna call this number. This number isn't just for somebody that might be feeling suicidal. It's for people that could call and say, I know somebody that's really struggling and I don't know what to do, and they're gonna help me through that too. So we're gonna instill some hope, we're gonna have a resource, but I want you to help me end this with, what are some things that we can say to somebody that instills a little bit of hope that things are gonna get better? What can we say? When
This
I
is a
went-
chapter only.
What's up?
This is a chapter only.
This is a chapter only, right?
Yeah, you have to embrace it.
It's tough right now.
Tough right now, but
Right.
it will pass.
What else could we say?
I'm here for you.
I'm here for you. You bet. I care about you. I love you.
I accept you no matter what.
I accept you no matter what.
And you're not struggling as well?
You're not alone. What was that?
I'm struggling as well.
I'm struggling as well. Normalizing it.
Nobody's perfect.
It's perfect.
I know where to get help.
I know where to get help. Yeah, I got you.
Not going anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere. You bet.
Tell me more.
Tell me more. You bet. You bet. I really appreciate you guys throwing that out there because you don't have to be a therapist. You don't have to be a professional. That's why I say don't leave it to the professionals. We'll help you out once you come through the door. But we've got to do this on the front end. We've got to do this together. So, thank you very much for your time.